My brothers, I want you to know that as a man, you were designed for strength. Throughout most of history, men strived to cultivate their strength, learning from their fathers, brothers, and strong men around them. But men of our generation are in a crisis of identity. Many young men, raised by weak fathers or without fathers at all, do not understand what it is to be a man. Do not understand that strength is crucial to living up to the potential that God gave to them. I'm not really talking about physical strength, even though this is important for a man to develop as well. But what I'm talking about is emotional strength. As a man, if you do not have your emotional strength in check, other people, both men and women, will not respect you. This video could hurt because there are many ways that you may be displaying to the world that you are emotionally weak. But don't worry, I was once here myself, and I assure you that there are steps you can take to change this. But first, you must understand the source of the problem. This is why I will outline 5 ways that you may be displaying weakness to others. The first way that you may be unknowingly communicating to others that you are weak is by gossiping and talking about other people. In the book of Ephesians, the Apostle Paul warns, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." We should not use our words to tear others down. Too often, we talk and gossip about other people in order to make ourselves feel better about our own lives. Do not be fooled. When you talk behind the backs of others, it is easy to see through you, to see that you are insecure. Weak men try to tear down other men that they feel inferior to. I hate to admit that I used to do this myself. For example, before I made myself stronger physically, if there was a guy that looked like he worked out, I would mock him behind his back. I would comment on how he was probably not very intelligent, that he just spent all his time working out and probably didn't know how to read a book. Something to that effect. You get the picture. Looking back, this was pathetic, and would have been obvious to others that I was only displaying my own insecurities. Pay attention to how you talk about others. You may not want to admit that you do this yourself, or what your motivations are, but once you are aware, you can correct the problem. What's more, gossiping used to be a negative trait that was usually associated with women. Nowadays, because of the feminization of our society, men often give in to the temptation of gossip as well. If you are always gossiping, you are automatically giving off a feminine vibe and making yourself appear weak. This is repulsive to women. You are seeking men who display traits of masculinity and strength. It is also repulsive to other men who will see you as insecure and untrustworthy. The second way that you may be unknowingly displaying weakness is by complaining about your problems to others. Throughout history, strong men have been looked to as being the solvers of problems. A strong man is always in control. Yes, there will be negative circumstances in your life that you cannot change, but there is always something in the situation that you can control. If you are always complaining to others and never seeking a solution to your issues, you will come across as weak. Teddy Roosevelt said it best: complaining about a problem without posing a solution is called whining. It is a burden to listen to a man who is always complaining. I am not saying that you do not talk to your wife or girlfriend about a problem that you are trying to solve. I am also not saying to avoid talking to a close male friend. In fact, brotherhood is very important, but you always want to be working towards a solution, not simply complaining. If you are not seeking a solution, you are saying to others that you do not believe you have any ability to change your circumstances or direct the course of your own life. Instead, pray about all situations that trouble you, seek advice from others you trust, and come up with a way to make things better, or at least make the best of a bad situation. My brothers, you do not understand that with God's guidance, you have so much control over your lives, even when you are facing trials. The third way that you may be unknowingly projecting weakness to others is by not trusting your own judgment. A weak man cannot trust his own judgment about anything. A simple example of this would be a man asking his wife or girlfriend to pick out his clothes for him. This may seem harmless, but think about it from the woman's perspective. How is she going to rely on a man as a leader who cannot even pick out his own clothes? Another simple example is a husband being unable to pick a restaurant when deciding where to take his wife for dinner. It is fine to seek your wife's input, but women often just want a man who will make a decision. So if you are trying to decide where to eat or where to go for a date night and the woman does not care, just make the decision. Men who are decisive leaders, even in matters that seem trivial, display strength that women are attracted to and other men respect. The fourth thing that you're probably doing that makes you seem weak is constantly seeking validation from others. This one is tough, and I have mentioned it before. To be strong as a man, you simply must stop seeking validation from others. A weak man is always nodding his head yes, always agreeing with what is being said, even if he holds a different opinion. He will not stand up for himself because he is afraid of a negative reaction or not being seen as being nice. A strong man holds true to his convictions. He says what he really believes, even if other people do not agree. I promise you, if you are always saying what you are saying because you think it is what others want to hear, it will be apparent that you are a people pleaser, and this will make you appear weak. The last thing that I'm going to talk about today that you are probably doing that makes you appear weak to others is always apologizing for everything. This one ties in with seeking validation. Now, I'm not saying not to apologize if you truly did something wrong. We must always seek forgiveness when we sin against others. But a weak man is always apologizing, even if he did nothing wrong. He apologizes so much that his apologies become meaningless. Think about it. Do you really owe someone an apology for forgetting to respond to an email at your office job? Do you really need to apologize for having a different opinion than someone else? Or are you just doing so because you are afraid of what they will think of you? Again, people will see through this and will subconsciously think you are weak. Only apologize when you are truly sorry and have actually done something wrong. My brothers, I have only pointed out these signs that make you appear weak because they are all things that I once did myself that I did not realize were dragging me down. As always, through practice and conscious awareness of what you are doing, you can change these behaviors and become the strong man that God meant for you to be. So stay strong, my brothers. Be courageous. Work on improving yourself every day, and guard your legacy.